Hi everyone, so it's been a while since I've made a video, and because of this guy. So this is my first book. This is Revolving Doors. It's the one I've been talking about on Twitter forever and on Facebook, and uh, now I can officially stop calling myself an aspiring writer and aspiring author because I am one. I mean, I've got business cards that say so. So now, and a solid book. How does it get not get more official than that? But it's available on Amazon. You can also get copies from me through book signings, and I'll be appearing at conventions too. Hopefully, as far as book signings at bookstores and libraries, I'll have more information on Twitter, which you can follow me on Twitter by the link below. However, Revolving Doors isn't. It's not a singular story. It's a collection of short stories, very much like Masters of Horror or Twilight Zone or Tales of the Crypt or that weird Nightmare on Elm Street TV series that was actually kind of good. So it's four short stories plus at the very end, it's I I've got the first two chapters in my next book, Phantom Walk the Lost, which will be its own series. And originally, Phantom Walk the Lost was going to be my first book, but the project was just it was too much for me. I wasn't really ready, so I decided to do short stories because a lot of my favorite authors had started out doing short stories, like Clive Barker did Books of Blood, and then there are filmmakers that started out doing really short films, like Sam Raimi did Within the Woods, and then he made Evil Dead. So yeah, so Revolving Doors is essentially my Within the Woods and my my Books of Blood. Not that I would dare compare myself to Clive Barker. Clive Barker is fantastic, but um, well, yes, that was kind of my thinking behind it. We're starting out with a horror anthology as opposed to just a straight up book. So uh, this way people can get a get, get a different idea of what I'm capable of. Because with just one story, I think there's you could go a couple of directions and get a few things across. But I think as a new author, I kind of felt um, that I wanted to really challenge myself, but not do something that I wasn't capable of. So I was able to show my different ranges through these four short stories. Um, so there's been a couple things that inspired each of these short stories. The very first one is called Phantom Lock the Game Master, which kind of introduces this character named Kurt Roberts, um, and he's this paranormal investigator who used to investigate paranormal events with his wife, and he possesses the ability to transform residual energy on an object, person, whatever, into images in his mind. So the more violent the occurrence in the place or on the person and or object, the more images he gets. So it's really it's a gift and a curse at the same time. And in the game master, he comes up against this entity that likes to really just toy with people and play word games, and he kind of it's I had so much fun writing the story, but it's just this demonic entity is very evil and plays on Kurt's emotions, fears, and I was very drawn to writing something like that because well, I mean, there's this entity that says, "Hey, you're gonna play this game with me. I'm this entity that knows all these sorts of things. mean, who knows how old this thing is? And if I beat you, I win your soul. If not, then you get to keep living. That's basically how the game master's puzzles and riddles, how going through this gauntlet works. And then there's another short story called Candlelights. It's heavily inspired by House on Haunted Hill, starring Vincent Price. It's about these rich people that kind of come to this house in the middle of nowhere, and it's hosted by this guy that's promised them this great gift, and he tells them of these stories and these amazing places he's been to all over the world, and he's kind of trying to teach them a lesson, but he's sort of got a sinister way of doing about it. I mean, he's not necessarily evil. He's trying to use an experience he had to give others a chance to become renewed individuals. Um, and then there's the search for Christine Carpenter. Excuse me, the search for Christine Carpenter, and that story was actually the very first short story I ever wrote, and I still and I felt like it was strong enough to be in Revolving Doors. I'm still incredibly proud of it because it's more atmospheric. There's just one there's really one character, and then there's a monster. I don't want to get into it anymore, and I'll spoil it. But basically, he's a bounty hunter that's trying to find this lost girl who's been taken away by her boyfriend. So he finds her in this abandoned house in the woods, and shit goes down there. It's very atmospheric, and if you're afraid of dogs, I'm sorry. And then let's see, Alive. Alive was probably one of my most fun writing experiences. Alive was kind of sprung from some anger I had towards a guy I saw on the news that got released on bail after he had killed his wife and unborn child. And I mean, there's more to the case, like something about lack of evidence too, but it's just a shame that when everybody knows that this guy is a big scumbag and everybody knows that he did it, but they can't necessarily prove it, or they get released because of money, or I think that it really pisses me off. And I'm a big believer in karma, and I base this character off of this scumbag. And in the story, this scumbag named Clyde Burner escapes and kills the cop that was transporting him, and he basically goes on the lam for a little while, and he finds a place to hold up that's kind of remote. And the thing is about this place, there's more to it than meets the eye. There's somebody else has been living there, and he's thinking, oh well, once this guy comes back, I'll just kill him, and I'll just wait and I'll kill him in his sleep. And it turns out that whatever's living there is much more terrifying and maybe more evil than even he is. So the story is really about karma. You know, what goes around comes around. So I had a lot of fun doing that. I think during the last pages is the most angry writing I've ever done. Not to give anything away, but I listened to a lot of Rob Zombie during writing the last couple pages of Alive. And the genre of Revolving Doors, I've listed it as thriller, horror, supernatural, and urban fantasy. So it encompasses all of those. because I didn't think it was fitting to just say it's straight up horror, because there's other elements to it as well. Um, so if you're in if you're into horror, great. If you're into thriller, you'll also like it. If you're into urban fantasy, there's a little bit of that too. And then there's a lot of supernatural stuff. And yeah, I could not be more proud of this book. I want people to read it and to enjoy it. A lot of my inspirations came from other writers like Clive Barker, um, Stephen King, Dean Koontz. The lists go on and on. I mean, director John Carpenter was probably the biggest inspiration that I had. The stories in the film that he does always resonated with me, and especially his film The Thing. There's always either a reference or a feeling, whether I intend to put it in there or not. I always tell everybody that there's some sort of trace of John Carpenter's The Thing in all of my writing, everything that I do, because the film is so substantial to me. It's my favorite movie. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's a phenomenal piece of storytelling. And if I can get up to half of any of those guys' skill level, I'll be happy. So I just want everybody to enjoy the book. Leave a review on Amazon. Be honest. Positive and negative reviews will help me grow as an author. So yeah. This this is it. I can't wait to get the next book out. I don't know when the hell Phantom Walk the Lost will be out. It'll be done when I'm done writing it, and then going through the painstaking hours of editing, sending it off to an editor, then crying, and then editing and formatting, and probably more crying, and then it'll be ready. So everybody, have a nice day. Enjoy the read.